Okay, start po tayo sa discussion. So para po mas maintindihan nyo talaga, explain ko po muna kung ano ba talaga yung notaryo at yung purpose niyan. Okay? So yung notaryo po, or in English, the notary public, that is a lawyer po yan. Isa yan siyang abogado kung saan kumuha po siya ng authority niya from the court, from the judiciary, para maging notary public. Okay? At ang purpose po, pag notary public ka na, ay para i-authenticate mo yung mga documents na sinasubmit sa'yo for review ng mga parties to a case or ng isang person na gusto gumawa ng sinumpaang salaysay katulad po nito ni Sergeant Orly. Okay? So tandaan po ninyo, ang importante natin i-take note dyan is yung main function po is to authenticate yung mga documents. At dahil ang main purpose po ng notaryo is to authenticate documents, in a sense po ang function niyan ay para ma-simplify po yung mga legal process dito sa bansa natin. Kasi pag notarized po ang isang document, therefore it is authenticated at nagiging public document na yan po siya. So kung public document na po ang isang document, it will now enjoy the presumption of regularity. Okay? At the reason po kung bakit ko nasabi na it simplifies the legal process in a sense, kasi pag notaryado na, ang presumption nga valid and regular na agad yung document na yun. In other words po, yung notaryo na-review na kung kayo ba talaga yung mga contracting parties dun sa document na yun, kung ikaw ba talaga yung tao na nanumpa dun. Dito naman po sa case ni Sergeant Orly, kung siya ba talaga yung tao na gumawa nung salaysay at kung whether or not napilitan lang ba siya or pinilit siya sa paggawa nun. So yan po yung main function ng notaryo, okay? To authenticate documents para po mas mapa-simplify yung legal process natin kasi mababawasan na yung authentication. Diba? Kasi yun nga po, pag notaryado ang document, it is now authenticated, therefore, it is a public document, consequently, it enjoys presumption of regularity. So in that sense po, it simplifies the legal process. Okay, so yung sagot ko po dyan, wala po yung epekto sa actual substance kasi yung form of a document is different from the actual substance of the testimony of an individual. Diba? Plus dito rin po sa case ni Sergeant Orly, pumunta na po siya ng Senate, diba? Nandun siya in person, nanumpa, tapos sinabi niya ulit lahat ng statements niya doon or yung testimony niya in open hearing, diba? Tapos nakita po yan ng buong Pilipinas. So in other words po, ang main point ko dito, nasa record sa po ng Senado lahat ng sinabi niya while he was under oath during the hearing. Okay? So stated differently po, yung issue as to the form dun sa written statement niya, wala po yung kinalaman sa actual substance ng testimony niya. Okay? Magkaibang issue po yun. So kung gusto sana talaga nila to i-discredit si Sergeant Orly, wag po nila atakihin yung notarial issue kasi nasa record sa nga anong Senate yung testimony niya, di ba? So i-contradict sana nila yun, yung testimony niya, para mapawalang bisa yun. Pero kung pupukpukin nyo lang yung notaryo, that is now irrelevant kasi part of the Senate records nga po yung testimony nito ni Sergeant Orly while he was under oath. Okay, so hopefully mas naintindihan po ninyo na magkaiba nga yung formalities of a document from the actual substance ng testimony. Those are two completely different issues na pinapaghalo-halo ngayon, maybe due to political reasons, diba? Pero, so anyway po, based on what I have explained so far, mas naintindihan nyo sana yung difference between the formalities of a written document from the substance of the testimony po ng isang witness. Okay, kasi yun nga, they are now attacking the testimony kuno because allegedly fake daw yung notaryo. Pero since yun nga po, pumunta na siya sa Senate, he was in person, nanumpa siya, sinabi niya ulit yun dun, edi wala na pong kwenta yung argument nila na peke yung notaryo, diba? Kasi kahit na po, let's say for discussion purposes na peke nga talaga yung notaryo, irrelevant na po yun kasi pwede na po natin itapon nga yung una lang niyang ginawang sworn statement, assuming peke talaga, diba? Edi ngayon, yung gamitin na lang natin is yung actual testimony niya sa Senate records, diba? Pwede nga niya kunin yung stenographic notes lang niyan kasi makita naman doon na sinabi niya isa-isa, tapos pirmahan niya yun, tapos manumpa siya ulit na siya nga yung nagsabi talaga totoo nun kung gusto talaga nila pukpukin yung notarial issue. In other words po, there are other ways naman as provided by our law, by jurisprudence, kung paano ma-verify kung whether or not yung tao ba talaga na yun yung gumawa ng testimony na yun, diba? So supposedly dito, dapat yung written form na yun yung pinakaunang magve-verify na na siya nga yung gumawa na yon. However, since ngayon, kinu-question nila yung notaryo, and yun nga po, for discussion purposes, sabihin natin, peke talaga yung notaryo, edi wag na natin gamitin as basis to determine kung si Sergeant Orly ba talaga yung gumawa nun. Itapon na natin yon. Yung gawin na lang nating basis ngayon, yung ginawa na niya sa Senate hearing, which is yung pagsabi niya orally, and since yun nga po, nasa Senate records na yun, edi yun na ngayon, yung actual testimony niya, wala nang kwenta yung first na ginawa niya kasi irregular yung technicalities. Again, this is just for discussion purposes, assuming totoo nga talagang peke yung notaryo. So from there po, again, may kita natin na it is a very weak argument kung yung notarial issue yung gagawin nilang argument just to contradict the substance. Kasi yun nga po, di ba, iba yung substance ng testimony from the actual formalities of a document. Okay? And then lastly po, ang gusto ko lang din i-point out, again for discussion purposes, kung totoo ngang peke yung notaryo, wala pong kinalaman dun si Sergeant Orly kasi hindi naman siya yung nagnotaryo sa sarili niyang document, di ba? As long as he was in good faith, he believed na totoo yung notaryo na yun, pagpirma niya nun, yung pwede lang po siya dun magka-issue kung meron siya mga kasinungalingan dun sa substance niya habang nakapanumpa siya, habang under oath po siya. Pero kung wala naman siyang kasinungalingan lahat dun sa statements niya, tapos pinirmahan niya yun, tapos he was in full good faith believing na notaryo talaga yung nag-appear sa harap niya, wala po siyang liability doon kasi yun nga po, hindi siya yung nagnotaryo ng document. Okay? So yung may potential liability po in this scenario, kung assuming peke nga talaga yung notaryo, is yung person po na nagpresenta na siya yung notary public. Or kung yung abogado is, let's say, kasabwat nung nagpresenta na yun, edi silang dalawa yung may liability doon for forgery or for falsification. Pero si Sergeant Orly, wala pong kinalaman doon kasi yung sa kanya lang naman, yung substance ng testimony niya at yung signature niya as to that substance of his statement. As to the act of notarization, labas na po siya doon. Okay? So yan lang din yung gusto ko klaruhin kasi sinasabi po nila ngayon since fake daw yung notaryo, therefore fake na rin si Sergeant Orly, tas ginagamit nila yung false in one, false in all na argument. Medyo nakakatawa lang po kasi hindi si Sergeant Orly yung nag-falsify ng notaryo. Yung notaryo po or yung representative nun or yung taong nagkunwaring notaryo ang nag-falsify at ang nag-forge. Okay? Hindi po si Sergeant Orly yung may liability nun. Okay, so hopefully klaro po yan. And ito pa po, isang lastly pa isingit ko lang. Actually, dito hindi nga talaga issue yung pagiging false. Kung assuming nga false talaga or fake yung notary. Kasi wala pa naman nga po tayo sa court hearing, di ba? Nasa investigation stage pa lang tayo. So, pwede lang gumawa ulit ng bagong testimony to si Sergeant Orly. E di pa notaryo niya na sa tama or sa totoong notaryo. Di ba? Ganun lang po kadali yun eh, basically. And hindi ko alam bakit ginagawa talagang big deal. So, anyway, medyo naging paulit-ulit na ako. Pero, I think this really needs to be emphasized kasi these are so far one of the issues or one of the current events na for some reason nagulat ako bakit ginagawa sobrang big deal when supposedly this should not have been a big deal. If you ask me po, based on my professional assessment as a actual practicing litigation lawyer po. Okay? And isa pa pong lastly, para may final lastly talaga tayo. So, ang masasabi ko lang po, yung mga iba dyan na mga experts na nagsasabing this is a big issue daw, it's probably either they do not really know what the essence or the function of a notary public is, its purpose, and the value of notarized documents, yung private documents nga versus public documents. And ito, kung may law students dyan na nanonood sa akin, challenge ko sa inyo, ilan lang ba yung documents na kailangan maging public document para maging valid? Diba, it is a very limited number of documents only. Diba? So, kung tatandaan nga natin yung pagbenta ng kotse, as to the validity of the contract, hindi siya required na public document. Yung nagre-require lang na public document or notarized document siya is yung LTO pag ita-transfer mo. Pero even if it is not notarized, it is already valid between the parties yung pagbentahan ninyo. Okay? So, again, that is a challenge po to my law student viewers. Kung meron man, i-comment nyo na lang sa comment section kung kailan lang ba required yung public documents. Again, it is a very limited number of cases or contracts or documents, di ba? And in some cases pa nga po yung pagiging public document or yung pagnotaryo ng document, it only touches on more on sa enforceability side of the document, not necessarily on the validity. And even if initially unenforceable yung document na yun, but if there is already partial performance, matatanggal na nga siya dun eh, di ba? Sa statute of frauds, basically is my point. Pero anyway po, masyado nang humahaba tong explanation ko, napunta na tayo sa civil code tuloy tuloy. Kasi again, it is either probably yung iba dyan na kina-question to is hindi nga nila alam talaga yung essence of a notary public, its function, the difference between private and public documents, or baka naman namumulitika lang sila, di ba? Kasi alam naman natin, the country is very divided ngayon, even though we have a advocacy against corruption, pero yung call to action in relation to that advocacy ay iba-iba pa rin because of the potential consequences kung mag-resign nga currently yung president natin.